Hello, it's Julie here from Do Business Like a Woman, and today I'm talking about getting clients for you. I'm going to talk about this because this is something that I've been able to do pretty well in my own business and also to help my own coaching clients with. So I wanted to pass on some of the tips and strategies that are really working right now, because I know this is an area that so many of you really struggle with. And that's so normal, but it can also be very demoralizing. It can feel horrible, demotivating. It can feel like you're the only one, that you're doing it wrong, and it can really undermine your confidence. So today I want to talk about this topic with you and give you some really vital information, some client getting strategies that I know work, and really boost your confidence around what to do to fill your client schedule with ideal clients. So that's what we're going to cover today. Now, I did promise that if any of you were to come on live today with me, that there would be a special giveaway for you, and there will be, and that's going to be at the end. So those who are going to be on live and stay till the very end, I will give you the details of that. But for now, let's dive right in. So when you first get started with any kind of business, whether it's online or you're a therapist, you have a bricks and mortar business, nobody knows you. So you are effectively marketing into the void. You are trying to get your message out there with people who don't know you, have no reason to trust you. They don't know your brand. There's not that know, like, and trust factor. So that is why it is so hard at the beginning. And we all go through it. So if you are currently going through any kind of struggle around getting clients, I want you to know that I understand. I know how hard it is. I've been there at different points in my business journey myself, so I know the pain, and also that it's really normal. In fact, I would go so far as to say this is the number one struggle that I see business owners and female entrepreneurs having. So if you can relate to this struggle, I want you to type yes into the comments box below. Give me a yes and let me know. So you are not alone, and it's real. The struggle is real, but there are some things that we can do to make it better, and that's what I'm going to cover today. Now, I'm glancing down here because I have my notes down here, and that's because I want to make sure I give you the most value that I can in the short time that we've got together. So, when people haven't experienced your work before, they don't know that you can help them. They don't know you from Adam. So, why would they listen? Why would they come to you? And it's our job, it's your job to let them know why they should work with you, to let them know that you understand them, that you can help them, and why they should choose you over working with anyone else. And that's what today's session is about. So I had a client recently, and I know she won't mind me sharing this because we've talked about it very openly in my Facebook group. And she is launching a coaching business, and she was 6 weeks into kind of, having launched the business. And by that, I mean, she had put up her website, and she was kind of 6 weeks into having designed the website, created her offer, and was just beginning to use client getting strategies. Now, she was putting content out there, and she was doing all hers online, which, by the way, is much harder. And we'll talk about that a bit more shortly. But she was doing her client getting purely online, and she was putting out content, she was telling stories, she was making offers. Nothing was happening. A few weeks went by, a couple of weeks, and she was getting incredibly demotivated. And then a loved one of hers commented and basically put fear and doubt into her mind, and she had a bit of a meltdown. She was freaking out. She didn't think it was going to work for her. And I really get it. I've been there myself. I remember freaking out to my own coach at the beginning of my business journey. And so I really get that place. And I had to remind her, though, that, we're just a few weeks in, and this is a business, and it takes time for people to know you and you to hone your message. And and don't give up. Basically, it's crazy after 6 weeks or less to just throw in the towel if you haven't yet got any clients. It's something that we all go through, and she nearly gave up, but she didn't. She stuck it out. She dug really, really deep. And I know she had to dig deep because it's horrible when you're feeling that way. And she went out and put another post. She upped her game. And I'm so pleased to say that she then got, I think, 3 discovery calls, 3 sales calls booked in. And she now has her first client just 1 short week later. So I just wanted to share that, because that's the power of persistence, even when it feels like it's not working. So I just wanted to share that with you. But of course, along with the persistence comes the need to have a strategy that works, because if you're just throwing mud at the wall and hoping that something will stick, it won't. And I've seen this time and again with people I've worked with in the past, clients when I, as an OBM or when I used to be a virtual assistant, and they've been doing all this stuff, but they didn't have a clear-cut strategy or formula that they were following, and so nothing was working. Plus their messaging was off, which was really sad to see. So I have got a freebie guide that goes with today's Facebook Live. And we'll get into the content of the Facebook Live more, and I'll give you the strategies. But I just wanted to tell you about this free guide, super valuable. It accompanies today's session, and in it, I actually go into your messaging and how you can hone your messaging to connect with your ideal client, because that piece is so key. And just to give you an example, I worked with one lady and she was putting all this copy up. But what we realized, I encouraged her to do some market research, and we realized that none of her target market, her potential clients, were using the wording that she was using in her posts. So we just tweaked that slightly, and then people began to connect with her message a lot more, and to make contact with her. So the messaging is really important. Inside the guide, the free guide, you will get some information on that messaging. You'll also get my super simple 4-step plan to getting more clients. This is vital. You need this. And if you feel like, you get all inspired from today's sessions and you go out and you start to make some changes, but then you get busy, you forget the information. If you've got this guide, you can refer back to it. So go sign up for the guide now. I've put the link in the description, and I'll put it in the comments too. It's called The Guide to Getting Clients. Go sign up, get that guide, and then it will make sure that you take action after today's session and get those clients into your schedule, because that's what I want for you. I want you to have a full schedule of clients that you love. So I'm feeling a bit excited about this. So who am I to talk about this? Well, some of you know my story. I've been in business this time around for 3.5 years, and I've had a successful freelancer practice for all of that time. It's been a journey, been a roller coaster. I've shared some of the twists and turns, but I'm pleased to say that nearly for all of that time, I've had a full client schedule. And just recently, I've repositioned myself as an online business manager. Well, that was a little while ago, actually. And I launched a new package recently, I should say, and that is now completely sold out. So I believe that I can talk about this with some authority. In addition, I'm now coaching several people who are putting these strategies into action and also having success. So there's the lady I spoke about a minute ago who now has her first clients, and she has more discovery sessions booked. There's another lady who's using one of the strategies, LinkedIn, which we'll talk about how to use that. And she has also got some consultation calls, that's what she calls them, booked in as well. So it works, ultimately, it works. And I've helped many clients in the past with this as well, getting them the sales, getting them the clients. So I feel that I can talk to this with some authority. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you struggling to get clients? If you are, pop a yes in the comments below. Let me know if you're struggling with this as well, because I want to know. Alrighty, client getting strategies. Let's dig into the content. Let's dig into the meat. So First of all, you have offline strategies and you have online strategies. We're going to dive into the offline first, because even though I'm all about creating an online business that you love, I also use offline strategies for getting clients because they're very powerful. And I have used offline strategies to help build my freelance business too. I've used both. So I want to talk about offline strategies too. And the first one is networking. Now, this is so powerful. I know a lot of people kind of roll their eyes when we talk about networking, or they find it hard, or well, some people love it. It kind of depends on your personality, you know, whether you're a star profile or more of an introvert. So but what I want to say about networking is, even if you are an introvert naturally like I am, networking is probably the number one most powerful way of getting clients quickly. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. I believe networking is the fastest way to get clients. And the reason for that is because that in-person connection is so much stronger, right? When you can actually be in someone's presence, feel their energy, connect with them, it just blasts through all that kind of know, like, and trust factor so much more quickly. And so if you can get out networking and go where your potential clients are, your target market are, you are going to make those connections so quickly. And this was my experience. And even to the point where, when I was living down south, I found that I could almost have it to a formula where I knew that if I went networking and I spoke to so many people, I would get one client. And when you know that it's like a formula like that, imagine the power that that gives you, the confidence in your business. Now, a lot of my clients resist networking. And that's because they feel like they don't know where to find the right groups. They wouldn't know what to say. They wouldn't know how to show up. Now, I can support you with all of these things, but just be creative. There are so many meetups and groups for entrepreneurs and groups for mums, and, you know, almost any interest, any niche you can think of, there will be a group that meets. And so you need to find where your people are, and you need to get your ass there. All right, and make connections, those real in-person connections, so much easier. That is my number one tip, the fastest way to get clients. Now, obviously, when you're there, you know, you need to think about how you're coming across. You need to be listening more than you're talking. You need to be authentic and real, but that's a whole nother conversation. If you want to know about networking, there's an article on my blog. It's called Networking for Dummies. Go check it out. So that is strategy number one. Then as well, there's networking specifically with other businesses, with the idea that they can recommend you to their clients. And with this, it's for you to be really, really strategical. So for example, if you are a graphic designer, you could go to a WordPress conference, and you could make connections with lots of WordPress designers, and then you could actually see whether they would recommend you to their clients, because often web developers, they don't do graphic design, and vice versa. Some do both. But if you were to make a really strategic partnership with a web developer who did not do graphic design and you do, then they can literally be recommending you to all their clients, because anyone who's getting a new website needs graphics. They need graphic design, and vice versa. You know, people who are usually getting graphic design, sometimes they need a new website too. So that could be a really strong partnership. And I've seen this strategy really work for people, where you get those strategic partnerships, and literally it can be like every client they work with, you can work with too, depending on if you are able to create that kind of relationship. So that's something to think about. And that leads into joint ventures. Now, you can do this on a really small level or a really huge level, but it's basically where you partner up with people who are in a similar niche to you, you know, so it's like complementing what you do, but not in competition with you. So, you know, I've got some joint ventures coming up with various women entrepreneurs, and one of them has a lot of followers in the natural beauty arena. And, you know, that's not an obvious connection, but of course there are going to be women entrepreneurs there. And my business is all about do business like a woman, feminine energy and in your business. And so, of course, people who care about natural beauty are going to resonate with my message. and people who are in my community are going to care about natural and organic beauty. I know my people, and I know that that's one of the things they care about. So you can do these joint ventures, and you can do live trainings together, and you both promote it to both of your communities. You both send it out to both of your email lists, and it's just a way of getting new people into your community, onto your email list, who could become your potential clients. It can also be done in a very informal way. So I have a lot of Skype coffees and a lot of in-person coffees. Good job, I like coffee, with female entrepreneurs who, you know, I vibe with, who have a similar message. And what happens is then when they have somebody who they meet who could use my services, they recommend me, I'm top of mind, and vice versa. And of course, you only do it very genuinely with people that you genuinely appreciate their work and would want to recommend them to your people. But I find, you know, in our community, there are so many high caliber women entrepreneurs. I love you, you're all brilliant. And so, you know, it's easy for me to make those connections and have those JVs. I'm part of a mastermind group right now who are fantastic high vibe women. Hi Esther, and hi Kate, you guys know who you are, and everyone else in my mastermind group, love you all. And so, you know, straight away there are people who I can joint venture with, and it's beneficial to both of us. All right, next one is recommendations. So now obviously this is best when it just happens naturally, and if you do a great job, a grand job, you will get recommendations naturally. And sometimes, you know, it can be way later. So you stop working with a client, but you did a good job and they recommend someone to you later down the line. So that's important. And always to finish up the relationship well as well. So like when you finish working with a client, because it can be tempting just to focus on just your new clients and your current clients, but please always round out, do a good job. You never know when someone's going to recommend you. But you can also ask people to recommend you. You know, if they are saying to you that you're doing a good job, you can say, like, I've got a spot in my schedule for a client right now. Can you think of a couple of people that you could recommend me to? It would really help me out. Just don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. So the final one for offline, and I'm sure there are like tons more, but I just wanted to pick the ones that I know have really worked for me and my clients. The final one is actually going into local businesses. Now this can work, say if you help local businesses with social media, or you're like a virtual assistant or a personal assistant, going into local businesses and just chatting with them. And then letting them know about what you can do. You know, I've picked up a client this way just through chatting with a local coffee shop and then telling them that I did social media. And then they wanted that. They needed that help. I'm just going to have a sip of water. That's good. So yeah, and I know that can feel a bit scary, a bit like cold calling, whatever, but just make it really natural. You know, when you go in to get your coffee, just have a chat. Or you know, if you're into pizza, when you go in and have your pizza, have a chat. You never know where the next client is going to come from. Or, you know, like there's an organic farm shop near to me that I love. So if you love working with a particular type of business and you're a customer, a regular customer, you've already got a foot in the door, you already know and love the brand, so have a chat with them. You never know what support and help they might need. Perhaps they have a horrible website and you know you could do a better job. So just thinking about those connections offline as well. So those are the offline strategies. Type in the comments, which is your favorite offline strategy? Which one are you going to use? All right, let's move on to online strategies now. So again, there are so many, and I'm going to go through the top ones that I've seen working for my clients. And then I'm going to talk about the two biggest mistakes I see that are preventing people from getting clients into their business. So online strategies first. So LinkedIn. Now, this is not one, disclaimer, this is not one that I have personally used in my business. I have a LinkedIn profile, haven't looked at it for ages. It's simply not one that I have optimized. However, I have a client who's doing really well with this at the moment. She is following a strategy and she has message templates that she sends out, a message 1 and message 2. And I'll just give a shout out to Shelley from Client Nectar, because this strategy that my client is using was actually one of hers for LinkedIn. So, and my client has used this strategy to reach out to potential clients, and she has got some sales calls booked in from that. So, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. If you want more information, type something in the comments. I'm sure that I can find those details from her. But yeah, she is having a lot of success with that. The next one is Facebook, and specifically the way that I used Facebook to get clients was I had a select few groups, not too many, maybe 2 groups, where I knew that my potential clients hung out, and I would go in there and I would answer questions just to be helpful, you know, answer questions. No expectations really. This is a bit more of a slow burn, but I would answer questions, connect with people, be helpful, be useful. And then, you know, I would get chatting with someone, I'd add them as a friend, and then I send a private message, you know, just connecting with them at this point, just making that relationship. Hello, how are you? So good to connect, you know, in a private message, and get chatting a bit, and then just let them know what you do. Do they want to have a Skype chat with you? So it goes, Facebook groups, you know, adding value, answering questions, private message, so, you know, add friends, private message, and then invite them to a Skype call with you if it turns out that they could indeed potentially benefit from your services. So that one has been a way that I have got clients in the past. I will just mention, I wasn't planning to mention this one, but there are the like online job sites like Upwork and Freelancer. Now, they really are a mixed bag, but again, in the past, I have used Upwork with a lot of success, and I have filled my client schedule, not filled, but I have had good clients from Upwork. Each one of these strategies is like a whole strategy in itself. I could almost do a whole training session. Well, I could do a whole training session on each one. We don't have time to do that today, but in a minute, what I'm going to encourage you to do is pick just a couple that you're going to work with. So this is not a deep dive. This is more like an introduction. But what I would say is when you pick the strategies that you're going to work with, you do have to go deep. You have to master them. Otherwise, they won't work for you. So I'll come to that in a bit more depth in a minute, but let's stick now with the online strategies. So sharing content online, you know, and this can be like valuable content, Facebook Lives like I'm doing now, addressing specific problems that your clients have. It can also be blog posts. It can be a podcast, always addressing the top problems that your clients are currently having. And it's great if you have a Facebook group and you can ask them and they can tell you, or you're working with clients already and you can see what the patterns are, what the top problems are, and then you speak to that in your content. And you use stories. Please use stories, story posts, right? So people get to know you. Tell your own stories, share stories about your clients. And then, you know, with a really strong call to action to connect with you and possibly work with you. And I'll come to that, back to that in a minute. And so that can be like posting on Facebook, posting on your blog, you know, sharing across your social media, Instagram. There is so many different places you can potentially post, but I don't want to overwhelm you. And the final online one that I'm just going to mention, and of course there are more, but this is the final one I'm going to mention, is Facebook ads or paid traffic, paid per click. And so what I would say with Facebook ads though, don't do it until you have already got a strategy working. So until you've already got your message down, you know who your ideal client is and you can speak directly to them and you're getting some results. That's the only time it's worth using Facebook ads, because if you don't have those pieces, ultimately you haven't made it work yet, and all you're going to do with Facebook ads is spend money and you still won't get the results. So that's a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but it can really add fuel to the fire for you. And I've really helped a lot of my clients to run amazing Facebook campaigns that have built their lists, brought in new clients and new income. So it can be very effective when you're a little bit further on. Alrighty, so what's working now for my clients? As I've said, it's the LinkedIn. So for my clients, it's been posting, sharing stories on Facebook in particular, sharing content, addressing the problems that their potential clients are having. So for example, I've been coaching a lady who is a sober coach, and she has been talking about all the struggles with sobriety that her people are having, addressing those problems, giving some value. She's been doing videos and posts, and then at the end she's had a call to action to get on a free call with her, connect and see whether coaching would be right for them. So that's what you need to do. And then of course networking, always the favorite. That has been working for my clients too. So what's your favorite out of those ones? Put a little comment below, let me know. And also, are there any strategies that I haven't mentioned that you have used to get clients into your business? I'm sure that there are people who would love to hear, so please share your own strategies with us too in the comments. Alrighty, so you can begin to feel a bit overwhelmed with all this stuff, right? So what I always talk about, and this is what I want you to do, I want you to pick 2 strategies only, just 2, not 3, not 4, not 6, just 2. Ideally one offline one, and I personally prefer networking, but it's your choice, and one online one. That's the ideal. And then you work them together. Now, the reason I say just 2 is if you try and do them all, you're going to be like an octopus on roller skates. You will make no traction. You won't master any of them, and it won't work. And how do I know? Because I tried to do this in my first business as a business coach. I tried to do everything, and I made not really any traction, and it was too hard, and I burned it out effectively. So pick 2 strategies and work them till they work. So which 2 are you going to pick? Pick ones that you'll enjoy as well, because if you don't enjoy them, you'll probably stop doing them. But if you enjoy them, it will be much easier. So pick the ones that really fit you and fit your personality. Pick the online platform that you love the best to work with. All right, now on to the 2 biggest mistakes that I see people making, which are preventing them from getting a full client schedule. Number 1 is not picking 2 strategies. So they are trying to do everything. They're being that octopus on roller skates, and they are literally getting nowhere. And the flip side of that, the pendulum swing, is doing nothing. So like having all these strategies but not actually pulling the trigger on any of them. And this is like overwhelm and procrastination, and they go hand in hand. And that's why I tell you to just pick 2 strategies and do them. Just do them. Just get on with it. This is me telling you, wagging my finger at you. So yeah, so you need to pick the 2 strategies and you need to do them. You can't sit there and do no client generating strategies at all. And I've seen people do this and then wonder why you're not getting any clients. You have to do them. So no excuses. Mistake number 2 is not putting a strong enough call to action on your promotional pieces of content. And I am guilty of this too. I did it just the other week. I sent out an email to my list, and my coach is on my list, and she said, and I put something like, I've done these Facebook Lives. I think that they might be valuable to you. And my coach messaged me and she's like, you're a marketer, come on, like that is so weak. And she was quite right. That is an incredibly weak call to action. Like, we're busy, right? Who's going to go and look at something that we think might be valuable? No, we have to tell them where to go and what to do, and we have to tell them what they will get and why they should do it. So go here, get this, here's why. And that needs to go, that formula needs to go as your call to action on the end of every promotional piece of content. Now, I'm not saying that every piece of content you put out on social media should be a promotional one. That would piss people off, right? Some of it's about connection, a lot of it's about connection, sharing, giving value, being social. But if you are promoting something, have a super strong call to action. Do not be afraid to sell. This is part of it. It's that squeamishness. We all have it in us heart-centered entrepreneurs, that squeamishness. Do not be afraid to sell. So I'm going to pinky swear that I will also do that too. You ready? And then I just want to add to that as well, giving in too easily is another one. So once you're working these, give it time, work them consistently, keep the faith, keep the mindset, this is happening. Do whatever it takes. It's not easy building a business. Keep at it. You can get there. I promise you, you can. If I can, you can. All right, so go ahead and pick your 2 strategies. Let us know in the comments what your 2 are going to be. And if you need coaching support, go ahead and get that. I offer coaching support. There are other business coaches out there who could be a really great fit for you as well. All right, I mentioned the freebie earlier, but I'm just going to talk about that again real quick. So this guide to getting clients goes along with today's session. It's the accompanying guide. You need to download it because it will just remind you of what we've covered today, anything you're not sure of. Plus, there's additional information in there about your messaging, how to connect with clients, potential clients online in a really powerful way, how to fill your client schedule, the super simple 4-step strategy to having a full client schedule that I've used consistently for 3.5 years, that my clients are now using, and that you can have too. So click on the link in the description, go get that freebie. You need this for your business. It's going to be so helpful. And you'll be on my email list then, so I can help you even more with building a business that you love the feminine way. So go get that freebie. Alrighty, I did say that for anyone that was here live, there would be a special gift, but I'm just going to be totally transparent now. There is no one here live today. So it's a shame, but it happens. I know that my people will watch the replay in the group. I'm a little bit gutted. I was hoping some people would be here live. Part of my whole thing is being really open and transparent. And this is part of my journey. I've only recently started doing Facebook Lives and I'm learning how to do them. And I don't yet have tons of people. And today I have no one live here with me. And that's okay. It's just like learning how to get clients. This is the same, learning how to get people onto our Facebook Lives. And so I'm not going to give the freebie. It was going to be a 15-minute session with me to come and just connect with me over a Skype coffee, and I would answer your questions about your business and about getting clients. And this is super valuable because my coaching time now, for anyone that joins me now as a coaching client, is over. It's not really an hourly rate, but it's over £100 an hour to connect with me for coaching. So this was actually a super valuable giveaway, but unfortunately there's no one here live. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. So I hope you have enjoyed today's session and got a ton of value. Please leave me a comment below and let me know, what was your favorite bit? What strategies are you going to implement? And how did you find today? And also share your own strategies with us. Lots of love to you. I'll see you soon for another Facebook Live. Mwah.